We didn't realize that you were. We thought you were pondering. No, all I was asking was that Matana, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what. Basically, what happens is it's not like I think through these Kedushin. What happened was I opened the Chumash on Friday night.
I heard that. I heard all that.
I don't understand. So where does this come from? Why?
First of all, you're being very modest, and it's good to be very modest. But first of all, no. Listen. I've heard your Divrei Torah. I've heard it, and I understand it, and now I'm commenting about it. You learned in yeshiva. You learn. You think about it. That's called effort. And that's called background. So don't tell me the way it's coming together is from. It's not as though, in other words, you at the contrary. What you're doing is, to me, the level of Torah, which is Yagia. You're taking information that you know, that you know, and you're applying it to understand the parsha and the word that you want to say, and then, by the way, it says that from the koyach hamaskil, from the power of haskalah, of rationale and intelligence, when a person starts thinking and speaking, it throws in more information. And if you want to read about that, the Rebbe Rashab has a Maimer of the year 1899. In the beginning over there, he talks about this idea. I learned it when I was a bacher, that Maimer. He talks about the koyach hamaskil augmenting itself b'shas hadibur. And I see it too. I open up and I plan on saying something, and then something comes up and I start saying, and all of a sudden ideas come in and that I didn't think about before. So that's, I think, another area, an issue that's going on when you start saying your Dvar Torah. Matana, just one more point. Now, there's also an element of Matana. There's also an element of Matana that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is chaynen das to you, and he could throw in an idea that's way beyond the information and effort that you exert, and that's also true. That's another aspect within your Dvar Torah. But to say that your Dvar Torah has no previous background, it's not true. It does. So I would say, for example, if you woke up in the morning and you say a Dvar Torah this coming Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, on an inyan that you never learned, let's say you never learned Kabbalah, and you start all of a sudden giving a drasha that's all Kabbalah oriented, I would say that's demonstrative of a real gift that you were given overnight, kind of, and Hashem put it into your mouth. I would say that I could hear more of a full matana experience. But otherwise, I think there's a combination of both. Yes, Hillel?
No, I just was, I wanted to get your attention.
Okay, let's now go back into the Maimer, and we are in the middle of 354. We're towards the bottom, where it says, V'lochein, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lines from the bottom, the two last words on the line, V'lochein yesh. V'lochein yesh b'zeh chelukim madregis. There are different levels. Kamoi echot sheyoyshev v'yiseh b'toiro. It says in Pirkei Avos, fellas, it says there's one person sitting and learning, shnayim sheyoshrim, there are two people that sit and learn together, and there is asara sheyoshrim, 10 that sit. So we see different levels, 1, 2, and 10, right? Those hare chabura v'aguda. When you have 10 people learning together, you have what's called a chabura, a group, v'aguda, a group, v'akol be'asara shchinta sharia. It says, upon all 10, the Shekhinah dwells. It doesn't say that, by the way, if one person's learning, or even two people, or three. Only when there's 10 together does the Zohar HaKadosh, the Holy Zohar, use the accolade and that there's the Shechina is Sharia. The Shechina is Shoreh. The Shechina rests on all 10 that learn together. That's why it's important if you're able to have 10 people learning together. Begilu Yoir Makif. What do they experience? What's called the Or Makif. We have two things. We have Or Pnimi Shalom, the inner light, the light that permeates every individual. And we have Or Makif. It hovers over the people. What does it mean it hovers over people? It doesn't necessarily go into your bloodstream, but yet it impacts you in a way like a miracle. Something out of the ordinary will happen through the Or Makif that's created when 10 people learn together. The Nimtza says the Rebbe, to recap the Maimer, he says, Yesh Sholish Madreges Batorah. There are 3 levels in Torah. Harishayna, the first one, he who avoida v'yagia kanal, to exert effort and diligence, as we mentioned earlier. V'hashenis, and the second one, he mal shal yidei oira Torah yoirish nitzoitzes de toyu. The second one is Yerusha. Through the energy and light of Torah, you inherit the sparks of the world of Tohu. V'hi Yerushas Yaakov. That's what I told you before, Laser. Torah tziva lono meirosha kihilas Yaakov. That's the Yerusha that Yaakov, Ish Tom. Yaakov is called an Ish Tom, a sincere person. Shu Yeshiv Eyalim. He sits in the tents. Bepedek Echot Shachris. He learns 1 Pedek in the morning because he has to go to work. And he learns 1 Pedek at night when he comes home before he goes to sleep. Shebezeh kol Yisrael shovin. All Yidden are equal. You know, my father-in-law, Sholem, used to go to work. Before he worked, he learned a little Mishnayos, a little Chasidus, after davening or before davening, every single day. Because that's what it says in Halacha. Pedek Echad Shachris, and the same thing at night. And this is practical for every one of us. In the morning, learning some, like we're doing in Kail, of course, and in the evening, to learn a little bit, even on your own. And the Rebbe said, so that's why Kol Yisrael Shavin. Baruch, why are all Yidden equal? Because this is to Yaakov Ish Tom. It's to Yaakov, the person the Yid, who is out there. He's no rabbi, he's no scholar, he's no koilel guy, he's no rebbe. He's a regular Yid working and trying to make a good living and just living as a Yid. So we say to him, you own the Torah because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the Torah as a Yerusha. Sheyesh lahem din Yerusha. They have a din of Yerusha. Number 3. V'hashlishi is the third, hu inyan ha'oir, the tal Torah, it's the light and the dew of Torah, shenitnu b'matana, that's given as a gift. And again, I think that in this mimer, he's implying, Laser, that this third level is the highest level. It's even higher than Yerusha. Because in Yerusha, there's a connection between the Yoresh and the Morish, the inheritor and the inheritee. But in Matana, it's totally a gift from on high. And that's, like I said before, the example. And although the gift is a total awakening from above, without being prompted by us below to give us the gift. Because we all know if we ask someone to give us a gift, we are the most arrogant individual around. You don't ask for a gift. You do what you have to. If you get the gift, great. You don't think, is he going to give me a gift or not? Right? Imagine if you think that way with your employer, when it comes Lahavdil December, at the end of the year, you ain't getting the gift because you're so, taken and worried about the gift. The bonus. You work hard. The Rebbe told David Mintz of Tofuri. David told me this. I interviewed David years ago. And his stock went public. So he came to the Rebbe, this is before, and he was worried, and he was checking the market every day, and the Rebbe said to him, Mr. Mintz, Stop checking the market and being worried about if it's a penny more or a penny less. What I want of you is to make a better product, make a better tofuti product. Put all your energy into that. And if you'll do that, you'll have atzlacha. And he told me that he listened to the Rebbe, and he stopped, and he threw himself into making a better product, and everyone knows that it went public, So the point is, you stop worrying about the bonus. And by the way, this is a very important lesson. Let's stop worrying, what are we going to get after 120? How big will be our piece of spiritual meat that God will give us from the Shor Habar and the Leviathan when Mashiach comes? Will it be a rib steak or will it be a pulka? You know what I mean? Cut it out. Stop worrying about, how big is my Gan Eden going to be? That's a very, very limited and small-minded and kind of ugly approach. You do what you have to, and Hashem keeps score, okay? And you don't worry about what's going to be later. You just do what you have to. So this is the level of matana. Let's go further. And he says, so here he goes back and he says what I said to you earlier. Nevertheless, who gets a matana? Only rak. You see the word rak, guys? Rak lemishu roi. Someone who is suitable. Ukanal the toli bekir vadas. As we said earlier, it depends on the closeness, kir vadas, of the knowledge, meaning of the relationship. If you're in a relationship, you're going to get a matana. If you're not in a relationship, you're not getting a matana. In the beginning of the Maamar, he quoted the Chazal that Torah is called a healing for the world. So Hillel, he says the word Olam, remember he said earlier, is associated with the word Helem, concealment. Okay. Torah heals the concealment. HaTorah hi refuah li'olam. Torah is a healing for the Helem. We say there's darkness. There's darkness. I don't see. I don't hear. I don't feel. When you learn Torah and you immerse yourself in Torah, Torah will open up and you'll see all of a sudden, you look at the same wall and at the same couch and at the same baseball game and you'll see godliness. You won't just see a person swinging the bat or someone throwing the football. You'll see that somehow in that football there is God, there is Torah, there is heaven. It's a whole different experience. And this is what it means that Torah is marpe es helim. So, we all have helim. There's no one that doesn't have concealment. In our personal lives, and communal lives, there is darkness and there is concealment. When you learn Torah, and you learn Torah geschmack, and you're into it, you immerse yourself, there's no question that the Torah will illuminate completely your life. And what was dark and dingy and ugly and disgusting, all of a sudden will become a rose and beautiful and gewaldig. That's what he says. Weiter, v'zehu im Ruach HaMoishel, top of page 355. He goes back to the opening phrase. Im Ruach HaMoishel, if the spirit of governing, of dominion, v'tirgem, in, not ein, in, Rucha de Yitzra Bisha Metal Boch. If the spirit of the inclination of the Yetzer, Bisha, the bad one, the Tetzer Hara, Metal Boch, bothers you, grabs you, disturbs you, Upeirush Moishel Koyi ala Tetzer Hara. Remember, we brought two interpretations. So one interpretation is that the Moishel goes on the Tetzer Hara. In this world, it's a place of darkness and thicker darkness. Chayshech is shalom, regular darkness. Afela is the schmaltz of darkness. It's really dark. It's like, it's so heavy, man. It's bad. And then it is terrible. So, Vafela is, it really is bad. Ubefrat bizman agolus bayaz. Sheyesh kama miniyas vikuvim. During Golus, There's all kinds of obstacles. Ala Torah, v'aveda shebalev, about to learn Torah and to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in this place, in the place of darkness and schmutz and problems, if this disgusting Yetzer Hara bothers you, the be'ela macheshech, in the world of darkness, hazeh pegim by Yetzer Hara. We meet the Yetzer Hara. It says, Eis asher shalat ha'odam ba'odam, the time when man is dominated by man with man. And he explains, yes, Eis kavul neshama. Listen to this, guys. There is a set time for the neshama. Everyone's neshama has its particular time clock. When the soul descends into a body. The shom whose man sheyochol liyosasha yishul to order b'liyal. And when the soul comes into a body, when the neshama comes into a guf, it's at a time, and that's the time when an evil person can dominate over you. And the Rebbe says, what does that spiritually mean? In the parentheses, shehem haklipes v'sitracha. That refers to the husks and the negative energy, extraneous forces in the world, the energies, the no good energies. And they can bother, we say in Yiddish, they can chepe, they can bother, they can chepe. I want you to learn that word. You know, there's certain Yiddish idioms that you can't say in English, only in Yiddish, and they're worth $1 million and more. It's called chepe. Chepe emnit. Don't bother him, okay? You got the word? T-Z-E-P-A. Chepe, chepe, chepe. Anyway, so the Yetzer Hara, Moshe Myers, the Yetzer Hara cheppers the person. The Yetzer Hara bothers the person, right? And he bothers, and he drives you nuts. He doesn't stop, right? Even though this is bad for the person, even though that through this, the person goes through refinement. You know, work, hardships, difficulties makes you stronger. Okay? It's known regarding the issue. It says, and Yaakov benched Pare. What was the bracha that Yaakov gave? He gave that through, making it hard for the Yidden, the Shibud. We will come out stronger. Also, it was like a net that caught all the fish, and there was nothing left. Rav refers to what? To the 202 sparks. So we emptied out Mitzrayim. We were sent into Mitzrayim. They tortured us. And guess what we did? We worked hard. We built the pyramids. And meanwhile, we extracted all the divine energy there, the 202 sparks. And we accomplished that we made Mitzrayim pure. Nevertheless, the Yetzer Hara has permission from on high. The Yetzer Hara is an agent of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Alter Rebbe explains this in Tanya, bringing us a mashal from the Zohar HaKadosh, that the Yetzer Hara is compared to a king testing his son to see if he's faithful. So he tells his person, to his deputy, to go to a prostitute and have her entice the son. And she says, I could do that, but he'll know that it came from you. I have a better idea. This is from the Zohar. This is not my mashal. This is the Zohar HaKadosh, which the Alter Rebbe quotes in Tanya. So the Alter Rebbe just alludes to it with one word. It doesn't give you all the details, of course. So the Zohar says she goes and she hires a second one. And the second one hires a third one. And the third one hires the fourth one. The 10th prostitute doesn't know anymore that really this is just a setup to see if the son is faithful. And she really entices and has a mind to get him to do the Aveira. And then the king says, let's see, did he succeed? Oh, he succeeded. He overcame the taiva. But what's the point? that the Zohar HaKadosh says that the Yetzer Hara is an agent of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah, at the end it looks like it's a plain, old, rotten, and stinking Yetzer Hara that's a troublemaker. One second, ladies. Let me just finish the thought. So that's what he says. Because on one hand, how can it be that the Yetzer Hara, who's this rotten, no good for nothing, should be able to put up a fight with Muhammad Ali, lahavdil? You put in this amateur little schnook boxer in the boxing ring, and he's supposed to box with Muhammad Ali. He ain't getting anywhere. Ali will give him one shot in the first round. He'll smash his face. The guy will have a concussion, and who knows if he'll live. Right? What are you getting to the boxing ring with Muhammad Ali, lahavdil? So here it is. The neshama is kedusha. How can this little Yetzer Hara start up with the answer is, Yoni? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is behind the Yetzer Hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives the Yetzer Hara energy, material, to test us, to see what we're made of, to make us stronger. It says over there, okay, we'll stop it now. What did you want to say? I want to hear from Laser. What did you want to say?
I just wanted to say, yesterday we had a Rabbi Gladstein from Cedars come to be, what's it called, by us. He spoke Shabbos. He's coming this year also. He said something amazing. He says, the Yiddim that we have on the film Shalosh, Chabad, you also have the Yiddim sticking out, right?
Yeah, yes.
He says, Halacha Moshe Sinai. He says, but what is it all about? He says, the Yiddim, the last thing you want to do is have on the tefillin, right, which is our keshet to the Rabbi Yosef, is a zeicher of the Yiddim. What's the Yiddim from? It comes from an egel. So we're being masked the egel hazov. At the time of putting on tefillin to be mischaber the Rabbi Yosef, it sounds like a total krumkeit. Why do we want to bring the Yetzer Hara into the tefillin? The tefillin is our kedusha with tahara. And nevertheless, these Yiddim, they have to be sticking out. If they're not sticking out, the tefillin aren't kosher. So what are we doing? He says, because like Rebbe just said, like it says here in the Maamarim, the Yetzer Hara is a shliach from the Rabbi Yosef. There's no doubt that he has koyach. It's koyach coming to the Rabbi Yosef. And if we're not going to give him a little pass, a little something, then he's going to destroy us totally. So Rabbi Yosef told Moshe Rabbeinu, you know what? When the Yetzer Hara comes along, put the little gid and let them stick out from the tefillin. Otherwise, the Yetzer Hara would never be masking that Klal spoke with tefillin. Because he would say, he's going to put on tefillin, then what chance do I have to ever fight you? So the whole koyach that the Yetzer Hara has to fight us is because he lets us put on tefillin, but the Rabbi
Yasha koyach. So that story reminds me of a story with a chassid who was a Rav in the Lubavitcher Shul in 1925 in Baltimore. His name was Rabbi Avram Elia Axelrad. He was from Russia, from the Rashab's Chasidim. So when he came, he would come once a year to Crown Heights to be with the previous Rebbe, the author of the Maimer. He would come for Simchas Torah. And he would come, and the president of the shul, and they would walk down, Eastern Parkway, and people would say, it's the Rav and the president. They came like once a year, but they came to be with the Rebbe, Simchas Torah. So he had an interesting custom, it looks like. He wore his yarmulke sticking out under his head. The Ger Chasidim, if you pay attention to the Ger, they also, they kind of, and in Chabad, and in most other Chasidus said, your yarmulke is fully under your hat when you're wearing a hat. But he was a Lubavitcher, a real Lubavitcher, from Russia. So they once asked him, I was told this by a bacher who I think was there in the 40s. So he said, Rabbi Axelrad, why do you wear your yarmulke sticking a little bit out under your hat? It's like not our way of wearing. So he said, because when the Yetzer Hara comes to me and he wants to grab on, I give him a little bit to grab onto, and that's it. So that I think that seconds what you're saying, which is a gewalt, the Giddim. Everyone have a great day. We'll see everyone tomorrow.